Welcome to the 2022 Primary Candidate Forum for Scott County Commissioner District 3, sponsored by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Today we are gathered at Hometown Bank. My name is Michael Clem. I'm an attorney at Helmuth & Johnson and a member of the Chamber. I will serve as moderator. All candidates for Scott County Commissioner for District 3 were invited to participate. With us this evening are Jody Brennan, Michael Luce, and Ibrahim Mohamed. The candidates are arranged in alphabetical order. The candidates will be asked a series of questions. They will have up to 60 seconds to respond to each question. Each candidate will now have 2 minutes for their opening statement, and we will begin with Michael Luce.
Hi, my name is Mike Luce. I've lived in Shakopee all my life, is 60 plus years, and I've seen a lot of changes in town. This town was probably 4,000 people when I was born, and now we're at what, 20-some thousand. Had a lot of changes, and we're going through a lot of growth right now. And the county's all part of this, and we're all working together, hopefully. And I'm against raising taxes completely unless it's absolutely necessary. There's a lot of cuts that can be made, and I think there's some investigation that needs to be done in some areas for that reason. And, with the pandemic, we've got some major issues going on with that, and I think that, common sense needs to lead the way. As we found out that shutting everything down didn't work as well as everybody thought it was going to. Common sense. You're sick, you stay home. You aren't sick, you go to work, keep the economy running, and everybody goes on doing what they normally do. We've got people that are basically broke because they didn't go to work or couldn't go to work, and that's just putting a stress on our safety net, both at the county, the state, and the federal level. People need help, but sometimes I believe in helping yourself also. You can't count on the government for everything. So, there are jobs out there. Every place I go, they're looking for people. So if you don't have a job, it doesn't take that much to get one. It might not be the best one, but in my experience, the best way to find a job is to have a job. If you don't have a job, you can't find one. For some reason, it just seems to work that way. But I plan on representing everyone, not just one group of people. Not saying anybody else is here to do that, but I try to be as fair as I can, and I guess that's my opening statement. Thank you.
Ms. Brennan.
Thank you. I want to thank the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau for hosting this candidate forum. I'm Jody Brennan. I will soon complete my 4-year term on the City Council. As well, I'm the president of the Shakopee Economic Development Authority. I participate in the Scott County Association for Leadership and Efficiency. I have working knowledge of the relationship between the county, cities, school district, as well as other organizations. This association works collaboratively to support safe, healthy, livable communities. I currently serve on the Shakopee Public Utilities Commission. The commission provides oversight policy and sets budgets and rates for the operation of this municipal electric and water commission. I'm a member of the Live, Learn, Earn Housing Committee. We identify the housing needs in our county, ranging from market rate housing to homeless housing. This year's goal is to communicate these needs to the residents of Scott County. Previously, I was part of the Scott County Unified Transit Plan Committee, the Shakopee Park and Rec Open Spaces Committee. My strength is in economic development, housing, infrastructure, and finances. I thoroughly research every item that comes to the City Council and the Shakopee Public Utilities Commission for a vote. I'm not leery of asking questions, and I do my research. I support every vote that's passed, even those items that I vote against. I have the knowledge and understanding to step into the seat and be a productive member of the Scott County Commission on day one. I look forward to participating in today's forum. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mohamed.
Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, for inviting me to give me the opportunity talking to the voters. My name is Ibrahim Mohamed. I'm 48 years old. I came to this country as a young immigrant when I was 18. I didn't know any English at all, but I worked hard. And when I came, I had a high school diploma, but I worked hard. And I am educated here in Minnesota. I have my bachelor degree in finance and accounting, and master's degree psychology and counseling. And I have a family here, and I'm married for 25 years. We're going to celebrate on August for the 25th anniversary in my family. I have 6 kids. 4 of them, they graduated Shakopee High School, and 2 they are attending still, and we will see. And so I am that person, and also I served on Shakopee Diversity Alliance as a president. And when Derby Day left, we filled the gap. And during my leadership, we hosted 5 international festivals and bringing community together, presenting their cultures, the music. And also I served YMCA board. And during I was working there, I create opportunity for people who don't have access. And the other thing I want to do is to create an opportunity for the youth, because 30% in the Scott County are youth. So we have to empower, and also we have to take care of the elders. And also I serve it for the COVID outreach 20 hours a week on Bella Plain, Jordan, New Prague, and Savage. That's who I am.
Thank you very much. So now we will begin the questions. And the first question will go to Ms. Brennan. In your opinion, what is the role of county government?
The county government is really an arm of the state of Minnesota, and much of what they do are mandated by the state of Minnesota, and it's finding a solution on how to bring that into Scott County and keep the budget and cost down. There's also development into greater Scott County, transportation, and recognizing those areas that need to be addressed to bring it into an affordable living area for the greater community.
Thank you. Mr. Luce, the same question. In your opinion, what is the role of county government?
Well, basically, county government takes care of the court system. They have the county sheriff's department, which takes care of the outlying areas that the cities don't deal with. And the county does the welfare system. They do a lot of social services other than that. And it's a broader spectrum than what the cities do. And I believe that the county's right now doing a good job. They're being stressed with the social services because of the pandemic, and it's making it hard for everybody, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. And I think it would be a good idea maybe to look into it. Maybe we could, you hear of people wasting money with taking welfare when they don't deserve it, and I've just heard of one the other day. And that just needs to be cut out, because there's plenty of people that need it. Those who don't need it, they need to be dealt with, and I think it should fall upon the sheriff's department. Thank you.
Mr. Mohamed, in your opinion, what is the role of county government?
The role of the county government I know very well, because I served the Human Service Resource Council for 3 years. I have been doing to advise on how to provide the service to the community, and for 3 years. The role of the county is, to make sure people get the service they need from the county, whether it's a human service, whether it's a court system, whether it's a roads, a library. They do all that stuff for the county. And most of the programs in the county mandated by the state. And also I used to work for the state of Minnesota. And I was a financial worker, and I know how these programs work.
Thank you. Mr. Luce, what is the most important issue currently facing Scott County?
Well, I believe the most important issue right now is the pandemic and everything that comes from it. All the social services that are needed, all the people with no food. We have food shelves, but as much as can be done, it doesn't seem to get to everyone. And without having all the background like the county people do, it's hard to know what the county can do. But that would be one of my areas that I would definitely dig into, because I've seen it firsthand of all the people that are really hurting from this deal. And, we can help them. We just need to do a better job.
Mr. Mohamed, what is the most important issue currently facing Scott County?
The most issues facing Scott County is mental health, because when you look at the numbers and also housing challenges, we need to get or assist, or partner with the CDA for the housing, mental health, and also education. That's the most pressing issues. 50% of calls received during 2019 and 2020, they were all, suicide attempts. And 42% of the homeless, they have been identified that they have severe mental illness. 62% Scott County jail inmates, they have a mental illness. And also we have to create an opportunity for our youth, because 30% in the statistics of the population is youth. So, and I'm a huge fan to help them.
Thank you. And Ms. Brennan, what is the most important issue currently facing Scott County?
Thank you. I think the most concerning issue is the current budget. I think that the current budget is running very lean, and there's not much leeway to provide the services that Mr. Mohamed has suggested, or Mr. Luce. I think that we're probably going to see an increase in the tax levy this year, because we're running at such a tight budget, and there's no leeway that's in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mohamed, what do you see as the highest priorities for Scott County District 3, the district that you're running for?
The highest priority is the dealing with the mental illness, and to give resources for these people, also for the housing. And the other thing is to empower for the youth, because youth is very important. So we can have a strong community and healthy community if we tackle those things.
Ms. Brennan, what do you see as the highest priorities for Scott County District 3?
I think it's coming up with a good budget that is workable for the community and involves community involvement. I think that we need to prioritize what are the important things. I think mental health is very important. I think that's affecting our children and our families and our police and our fire departments. We're seeing the number of calls that are being made into the city of Shakopee is increasing because of mental health. I think that we need to have police mental health professionals that are embedded with our police to go on calls with our police departments. This can be done through three city or larger group of a consortium with one mental health professional. And I also think housing is very important, but it will be interesting to see what happens with the current economy and the slowdown in housing, to see how that will affect the housing prices. Thank you.
And Mr. Luce, what do you see as the highest priorities for Scott County District 3?
I believe feeding the people that need the food is a big thing. I've worked with the food shelf and some other areas, and that is a big problem right now. There's a lot of people out there that just don't either know where to get the food or how to get it, because there are places to get it. And housing, the price of rent is going up so fast that most people on the lower scale can't afford what's going on. You know, I just can't believe how rents have gone up in the last year. I do a lot of work in the rental business. I do basic maintenance for them, and I can't believe what's going on there. Mental health, you know, all this stuff has to do with mental health. If you have problems getting food, if you get problems with your housing, it all works on your mental health. And you see a lot of people that could use some professional help.
Thank you. Ms. Brennan, who do you view as your constituents?
The residents of, well, primarily of District 3 in Shakopee, but overall our constituents are the taxpayers of Scott County. We have to think about things that are equal and do our best to make sure that everybody is served equally, and not just Shakopee as a larger city, but also Elko, New Market, or New Prague, or some of those smaller areas, that they get the same consideration. I think they're in a unique position because they're not those outer cities are not looked at by the state of Minnesota as being part of Metropolitan Council, but we're seeing that the growth is occurring, and then they have to have the same consideration in housing and other services.
Mr. Luce, who do you see as your constituents?
I see everybody as my constituent. You know, we're supposed to be working equally for everyone. You know, people that live in Shakopee, people that live anywhere in the county. You know, we can't just split it up into districts. You know, sure, we're the biggest city. We pay the biggest share of the bills in Scott County. But there's other cities that possibly, and I don't have the expertise or the knowledge that some of the people on the county board have, but there's other cities that need help more than Shakopee does. We've got a lot of factories and tax base in that area. A lot of cities don't have. And, you know, the county is supposed to do everybody equally. Taxation's never equal, but, you know, you do what you can with it, and hopefully it works out. So my time is just about up. So just do the best you can for the most people you can is the way I look at it.
And Mr. Mohamed, who do you view as your constituents?
Yeah, before I answer that, you know, I consider, you know, when I swear, I will be swear as a county commissioner, and I have to work on all the county in Scott County. I helped during the pandemic. I work 20 hours a week as a community health worker, and I work New Prague, Jordan, Bella Plain, Savage, and Shakopee, and to get vaccinated and to get the immunization, and also to test it for the COVID-19. Primarily the taxpayers, and also local government, like school district, which I am a board of the Shakopee schools, and faith community, and all the people. And youth, you know, everybody, you know, they are in my constituents in Shakopee.
Mr. Luce, what skills and experience would you bring to the Scott County Board?
Well, I have 5 years experience on the Shakopee City Council. It might sound a little odd, but we had a change of terms, so I ended up with 5. The current council is only going to have 4. I worked very hard when I was on the council to do the right thing. A lot of people didn't see it that way because they had agendas, but you know, I do my best with what I've got, and sometimes you don't get all the information you hope to get, and you know, that's what you deal with when you're part of a elected group. Some get all the information better than others, and you know, you do with it what you can, and you find the information if you need to on your own. So, Mr.
Mohamed, what skills and experience would you bring to the Scott County Board?
I will bring a lot of skills because I know the human service and the way they work, the way to administer the 40 million budget, and also I'm educated. I have been working for the public schools for 20 years, and also I am a school counselor. I'm licensed school counselor, And what I have been trained is to listen and to provide equitable service for the students' career and college readiness and personal, social, and emotional. I will bring all those skills. And also I was co-founder for Shakopee Diversity Alliance. I have a nonprofit background, and that's what we need in the county government.
Thank you. And Ms. Brennan, what skills and experience would you bring to the Scott County Board?
Really specifically, I think economic development, housing, budget, finances, police enforcement, human services. I have a daughter with Down syndrome, so I understand the needs of the human services area in developmental disabilities. I've been involved. I ask questions. I was at the Scott County Board Commission meeting this morning, learning about different things that are going on in Scott County. I just think that I'm personally, I just ask a lot of questions. I really dig in. I have no problems asking questions and getting the right answers. I understand people, and I care about the people that I would work with. And I have good collaboration and good communication with people that I work with. So that's it.
Mr. Mohamed, what time commitment do you anticipate if you are elected to the Scott County Board?
I will do my best, and I will put whatever they need. And I know what county board is, and I'm a school board member, and I serve a lot of committee like policy committee, facility committee, and community and education. And so I will put a lot of time, more than 40 hours, maybe 60 hours, and that's who I am. And I have a good relationship with the county and school district and city of Shakopee, and I'm very well known, and I'm pro business, and that's my background. My undergrad is finance and accounting, and that's what's needed in the county government.
Ms. Brennan, what time commitment do you anticipate if you're elected to the Scott County Board?
Well, I know that if you ask the county commissioners, they'll say that it's whatever you can give. But for me, I think you have to do what is required to get the job done. And I think that's putting in time at the various meetings that could be held in evening or daytime or weekends. My children are no longer at home, and my husband works a lot of hours. So I have no problems with that. I'm able to go over, leave at any moment's notice, and to be where I need to be. And plus, it's just not the meetings; it's the time and the commitment to research, to read, to look up state statutes, look up policies that are in place for the county currently. It's to build relationships with the different cities and townships. So it's pretty extensive, and I have no problem with that. Thank you.
Mr. Luce, what time commitment do you anticipate if you're elected to the Scott County Board?
Well, I'm probably the oldest one up here. I'm just guessing. I'm not putting in numbers on it. My plan is to retire from the work I'm doing and specifically work just for the county and the people involved. I have plenty of experience in a wide variety of areas, and I believe it would be a benefit to the board. And like I said, I'll put it whatever time there is, because I won't be doing anything else but that. So.
Ms. Brennan, are there any areas where you believe Scott County should increase or decrease spending?
Oh, increase or decrease spending. I think we really need to look at the Family Resource Center to see if that's the best use of money. I think we're already providing those services. We already have a location for that. But I think the collaboration of Family Resource Center is maybe stepping over the boundaries of what's needed. It's convenient, which is good, but it's also taxpayer money that has to be managed on that.
Mr. Luce, are there any areas where you believe Scott County should increase or decrease spending?
Specifically, I know neither on either end, but I do believe that someone needs to investigate. Each of us, either one that gets elected, needs to look into it, because I believe there's waste in some areas, and I believe there's areas that do need help. Social services, they might need to move the money around a little bit, because some areas are duplicated, as was just stated, and that's ridiculous to duplicate services. You've got a finite amount of money to start with, and it's not wise to duplicate things. So I can't give you specifics because I'm not privy to all the inside information that a board member would be.
And Mr. Mohamed, are there any areas where you believe Scott County should increase or decrease spending?
We have to always we have to think about the budget we have. We have to live by our means, and that's what I believe. And I don't see decrease, because the area I want to be provide is mental health resources. We need a bigger. We have a center that occupies 16 bed only. We need more than that. We need like an Anoka one, and also we have to provide opportunity for the youth, and also we have to take care the elderly people, and so they can get quality health care, and that's what I would say. But it's not the dollar we are using; it's from the state 80%. So we need to provide as quickly as possible.
Mr. Luce, what are your long-term goals regarding business and economic development in Scott County?
Well, I don't think the county has a lot to do with just business and economic development. A lot of the cities take care of the greater majority of that. What the county does take care of, it's a tough question. I hate giving money away to big companies, but sometimes that's the only way you can get them to land in your area. That happens constantly, and I think these big companies are pitting city against city, and that's just wrong. And I believe that working together, we could put a stop to some of that, and that would better everybody. So, thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Mohamed, what are your long-term goals regarding business and economic development in Scott County?
This is what I believe. Before I answer that question, this is what I believe, because our youth is very important. They are 30%, so we have to create opportunity for them. I'm repeating again, like career exploration, internship, and also strong schools and healthy community. All those things correlated for business to thrive in Scott County. And I disagree with my opponent. The county has a responsibility to provide a resource. For example, we get the CARES money, and they have been doing that for the county, and like giving an BBE loan. And also we have to in place the business infrastructure, so the business can stay here. We have to attract other business too. And so like the commercial development, so we can reduce the tax-based rate. It will spread out, and then property owners, can reduce their tax obligation.
And Ms. Brennan, what are your long-term goals regarding business and economic development in Scott County?
I think it would be making sure that infrastructure is in place for the outside, in the southern Scott County area. I know that Elko New Market is being looked at as a fast-growing commercial and business area because of their location along 35. And we need to support that and be ready for that to happen. I believe that training our residents on working in Scott County through the fast track program that the CDA is providing is very beneficial. We want to keep people here in Scott County instead of leaving out to the greater metropolitan area. That not only benefits our businesses, but it also benefits our roads, like Highway 169, and the traffic that's occurring on there. So I guess that's it. Infrastructure, training, and transportation would be my highlights.
Thank you. Mr. Mohamed, what is Scott County's role regarding affordable housing?
Scott County, they can do a lot of things, but they cannot provide housing. We can partner with the CDA, and they are doing real work there, and also we can partner with the Minnesota Housing, and so we can provide. Also, we can work with the city and school districts and also business people. So then, employers like in Amazon, Shutterfly, and so every stakeholders, and so we can get a solution for the housing. But where to start is the CDA and Minnesota Housing Agency.
Ms. Brennan, what is Scott County's role regarding affordable housing?
Well, we need to make sure that we have housing across the spectrum for all people. We have people that prefer to live in the high-end houses, and we have a number of people that are workers that need to stay here in Shakopee and live in the lower-end houses. We have also an obligation for homeless housing. And I know that the recent study that came out indicated that there was only 35 people that were homeless in Shakopee. But those 35 people are only the people that are receiving services. There's a high number of people that are not receiving services and are not being counted in those numbers. And that group of people is causing problems with our police and other issues with that. I think that we need to bring our advocate for Minnesota housing credits to go into the southern Shakopee, like Jordan and Belle Plaine. They would love to have workforce housing down there, but they're not able to get those housing credits. So I think our role would be to advocate for that.
Mr. Luce, what is Scott County's role regarding affordable housing?
I believe that the county, the cities, and the state need to lighten up a little bit on some of the landlords that have housing that's older, but it's still in decent shape. They get a little picky on what they will spend money on. Is it better to have a house that's maybe a little substandard or no house? I mean, I would take anything I could if I didn't have a house. If I'm living in my car, I'll take anything. Not that I am living in my car. But I'm not saying they should take anything, but in a pinch, you take what you can get and you work from there. It's always easier to get something once you've got it. If don't have a house, trying to find one is almost impossible. Once you have some kind of a roof over your head, things seem to come together. I've always seen that. As far as the housing goes, I think they need to jump on the bad landlords a little harder. I'm in that field, and there's some landlords that keep their units up. My time is up.
Ms. Brennan, are any changes needed in local law enforcement?
Yes, thank you. I mentioned earlier embedding health professionals into our law enforcement. I think that there can be a consortium of cities that band together and have a one or two mental health provider person that goes out on the calls. I also think that there is a software program that all the cities are using, and it's antiquated and it's not working as well as it should be. So I think that a software program is also for the jail. I think that needs to be reviewed and take a look at and see if that needs to be replaced and redone. I think the number of calls that we have that are going out currently for mental health is really substantial, and it needs to be addressed. I think that's it.
Mr. Luce, are any changes needed in local law enforcement? Are any changes needed in local law enforcement?
Local, no, I think our local police department does a pretty decent job, and the sheriff's department. I've rode with both of them, and they do what they can with what they're given, with all the tools they have. And we have very good people working. I have a working relationship with a number of them. I don't believe health pros need to ride with the police. I think the police are smart enough to spot a situation where they are needed, and if they're on call, they can be there in minutes. And I think that would be the best use of the professionals. And as far as having people that are acting out because of a mental illness, putting them in jail is the wrong thing. They get no help, and actually they're abused in jail. And having more bed space for those people would do wonders for our crime rate. And that would be the best thing we could ever do.
Mr. Mohamed, are any changes needed in local law enforcement?
I believe here, our Shakopee police and the sheriffs, they are doing a wonderful job. They are in part of the community. We had a picnic last 3 years, and they did a good job. Also, they are well trained on working with the mental health mental health team. And I think, we don't need a change. The only thing I would add is there is a conversation going on and around the nation. We have to have a talk about community policing, and we have to talk about the racial profiling, and then so we can be proactive. But our police are great, and I have a good relationship with them, and I work with them closely.
Mr. Luce, what is the role of public transit in Scott County, and has this changed due to COVID-19 or more people working from home?
I don't have firsthand knowledge anymore. I used to sit on the MVTA board when we joined that group, and I believe there's plenty of transit right now because the ridership is low, and I think it's maybe going to stay low because I think a lot of these companies are finding out they don't need all that high-priced office space for their people. On a daily basis, I deal with people who are officing at home, and they're doing a fine job at home, and very productive. It works great for the employer, and it works great for the people at home. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a good system the way it's going. It can use some tweaks, but we'll learn all that as we go along. Some employers want their people back in the office, and some are finding it best to let them at home. So it's up to the individual employer.
Mr. Mohamed, what is the role of public transit in Scott County, and has this changed due to COVID-19 or due to more people working from home?
And I think, the silver lining for the COVID-19 is, people have become productive while they were working at home. They have done, there is a study, and they have done a great job. And in public transit, I think we are doing okay. We have the MVTA, and we have smart buses that take care the elder people in the rural areas like Jordan and New Belle Plaine. But we have to think strategically, because there is a light rail coming in Eden Prairie, and so we have to get buses connected with that. So the light rail is so fast, and I know the 30% youth in Scott County, they will go college. They can go easily, and the commute would be better. So I'm a proponent for that, to think ahead.
Thank you.
Not be reactive.
And Ms. Brennan, what is the role of public transit in Scott County, and has this changed due to COVID-19 or due to more people working from home?
Yeah, I agree with the other two candidates that COVID-19 definitely affected transit. I think the number of people that are leaving Shakopee to go into the cities is definitely down. I think what's really needed in Scott County is the city-to-city transit. So if you have somebody from New Prague that is coming into Shakopee to get health services, that is still needed, especially in those rural or southern Scott County areas. I know that there is a new initiative called Hopscot, which is to connect people to the vans that can be driven by volunteers and to take those people from areas like New Prague or some of the outlying townships and drive them to their different doctor appointments or to their different meetings, appointments that they have. It also is being used for delivering food to people that are out in the rural areas. So I think definitely the city to city or townships transit is definitely still needed.
Each candidate will now have 2 minutes for their closing statement, and we'll begin with Michael Luce.
Well, as I stated before, I had more experience on the city council. I've had 5 years on there, and I've seen a lot of growth in Shakopee. We went through a lot of innovation, and they're still doing that. As far as getting involved with things, I wanted to see how the local PD worked, and I rode with the chief. I've ridden with Minneapolis PD, and I've ridden with Scott County. And I'll tell you what, you want to see an eye-opener, go ride with Minneapolis if you can get the chance. I don't think they do it anymore, but yeah, when you go to an officer-involved shooting, when you're a ride-along, it's pretty scary down there. And like I say, I throw myself into my work, I do my homework, and I came up with a number of things. The inclusive playground downtown, they presented to council, and I asked to be part of it, and we got that thing built in record time. People that put it together told me that it usually takes 3 years just to fundraise. We did it, whole project from start to finish, children playing on it in 9 months. And as I like to refer to it as, we had a baby. So that's our baby down there. I'd like to make it a twin someday, but we'll see about that, because there's still space down there, and the need is there to help the children. See, that playground helps children with special needs. It integrates them with the average child that doesn't have special needs. And I'll tell you what, if you go down there and see a special needs child having a ball with the other kids, and the other kids they seem to be oblivious to anything down there. That touches my heart so much. I saw one child that was in a wheelchair, and one of the other kids brought his wheelchair over to him after he went down the slide. And I tell you what, if that doesn't pull your heartstrings, nothing will.
Ms. Brennan.
My closing statements?
Yes, your
I'm
closing
just
statement.
really excited to be here and running for Scott County Commissioner. I think the skills that I've learned in the last, I'm going to say 4 years on the City Council, on the Shakopee Public Utilities Commission, plus the 2 years on the Planning Commission, 2.5 years on the Planning Commission before that, really puts me in a place of understanding the needs of Scott County, and I'm really excited. Because of redistricting, this is a 2-year term, and I think that somebody needs to come in and step in and be ready to go on day one. There's not much learning curve that's going to be allowed. It's get in there and go. So I think I had those skills to do that. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Bureau again for doing this. And I guess I just want to remind people that this seat is on the back side of the ballot. So make sure when you're voting on the primary on August 9th that you flip the ballot over and vote. Well, I'm going to say vote for me. So thank you very much.
Mr. Mohamed.
Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, and also I want to thank Mike Luce and Jody Brennan that we are sharing. We care about the community. We are not enemies. We want to do the community service. I want them to know that. But I have a lot of experience. I worked in the county government. I used to be a financial worker. and I served Human Resource Service Council, and also on Shakopee Public Schools for 11 years. And I am the one care about this community, and I know what the kids are going through, and is a mental and housing, and also I work with the other nonprofit and to pay the rent, rental assistance, Minnesota rent help, and I am grant writer, and I can bring a lot of skills. My background is finance and business, and also I'm pro business. And I know, the business, they need infrastructure like broadband and to get anything from the government if another pandemic comes. And I'm asking you, voters of Shakopee, to vote for me. I will bring that diversity perspective, because I came here 18 years as the age of 18 years. And I have accomplished a lot. So I want to give back to this community. And I have been 15 years here, and I served most of the board members, and I have done tremendous job in this community. And I wanted to continue and make a strong community and healthy community and a strong business. And don't forget to vote me August 9.
As we close this part of our discussion, please remember that the views expressed in today's debate are those of the candidates, not those of the Chamber and Visitors Bureau. The Chamber sponsors this event as a service to the community and has gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure the objectivity of this forum. The Chamber does not endorse any candidate. Instead, we seek to provide voters with the information you need to make informed choices when you vote. Thank you to Hometown Bank for hosting this event. On behalf of the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau, thank you to all the candidates. We appreciate your time and your service to our community. Primary Election Day is August 9th. Please remember to vote. Thank you.
Thank you.